Have you ever felt a creeping sensation, a gnawing doubt that something isn't quite right in a relationship, a friendship, or even your workplace? A feeling that someone is subtly, systematically, chipping away at your sense of self, your reality? What if the discomfort you feel isn't just in your head, but a direct result of someone deliberately twisting your perception? Manipulation isn't always a grand, obvious act. Often, it's a silent, insidious art played out in the shadows of our daily interactions. It's a game where the rules are hidden, and the stakes are your mental and emotional well-being. In this deep dive into the human psyche, we're going to expose 8 hidden signs that someone is expertly pulling your strings, often without you even realizing it. By the end of this video, you'll possess the tools to not only identify these covert tactics, but to reclaim your autonomy and protect your mind. Stay with us, because what you're about to learn could fundamentally change how you view your most important relationships. And the first hidden sign, the one that erodes your reality, is called gaslighting. Gaslighting. This technique is purely psychological, designed to make you question your own memory, perceptions, and even your sanity. It's a systematic campaign of denial and misdirection, where the manipulator insists that events you clearly remember never happened, or that you're crazy or too sensitive for reacting to their actions. Why does it work so powerfully? Because our sense of reality is largely constructed from our experiences and memories. When those are consistently challenged by someone we trust or depend on, it creates a profound cognitive dissonance. We start to believe their version of events over our own internal truth, leading to confusion, anxiety, and a feeling of being unmoored. The manipulator gains immense control by becoming the sole arbiter of what is real. Imagine this. Mark confronts his colleague, Sarah, about a key report she promised to deliver last Friday. "Sarah, where's the sales report?" "We needed it for the Monday meeting." Sarah, without missing a beat, calmly replies, "Mark, I never said I'd have it by Friday." "You must be mistaken. I said mid-next week at the earliest. Are you feeling okay? You seem a little forgetful lately." Mark racks his brain, certain of their prior conversation, but Sarah's unwavering confidence and veiled concern plant a seed of doubt. He begins to wonder if he did misremember, eventually apologizing for his mistake. The second hidden sign often feels intoxicating at first, only to leave you utterly bewildered later. It's love bombing, followed by devaluation. Love bombing, then devaluation. This tactic involves an initial overwhelming display of affection, attention, and flattery. The manipulator showers you with compliments, grand gestures, and declarations of how perfect you are, creating an intense, almost dizzying bond. But once they feel they have you hooked, the switch flips. The adoration rapidly morphs into criticism, indifference, or even outright contempt. Why does this emotional roller coaster work? We are hardwired to crave connection and validation. Love bombing taps into this fundamental need, making us feel incredibly special and seen. This intense initial positive reinforcement makes the subsequent devaluation even more jarring and painful. You desperately try to return to that initial perfect phase, blaming yourself for the shift and working harder to regain their approval. This creates a cycle of dependency where your self-worth becomes tied to their intermittent and conditional approval. Consider a new relationship where a partner constantly tells you, "You're the most amazing person I've ever met." "We're soulmates." They flood you with texts, gifts, and plans. Then, after a few weeks, they become distant. They criticize your appearance, your friends, your opinions. "You're always so negative," they might say, or "Can't you ever just be happy?" Confused, you redouble your efforts to please them, desperately seeking to resurrect that initial euphoric connection, unaware that the devaluation is a deliberate manipulation to keep you striving for their unattainable approval. Our third sign is a weapon often wielded in silence, yet it speaks volumes. It's the silent treatment and withdrawal. The silent treatment. This tactic involves deliberately cutting off communication, ignoring messages, or physically withdrawing from your presence as a form of punishment or control. It's not about needing space. It's about creating a void, a sense of uncertainty and anxiety until you comply or apologize, even if you don't know what you did wrong. Why is this so effective? Humans are social creatures, and the threat of abandonment or ostracization triggers deep-seated fears. The silent treatment deprives us of connection and information, leaving us feeling confused, rejected, and desperate to restore equilibrium. We often internalize the blame, assuming we must have done something wrong to provoke such a response, even when the manipulator is the one at fault. This power dynamic forces us to chase their attention and approval, giving them control over our emotional state. Consider a situation where you disagree with a family member. Instead of discussing it, they simply stop talking to you. They ignore your texts, don't respond to questions, and act as if you don't exist in shared spaces. Days turn into weeks. You find yourself constantly replaying the argument, wondering how to fix it, even considering apologizing for something you don't believe you did, just to break the suffocating silence. This emotional isolation forces you into submission, sacrificing your own needs for their acknowledgement. Our fourth hidden sign often garners sympathy, making it incredibly difficult to spot. It's playing the victim. Playing the victim. This tactic involves consistently portraying themselves as helpless, suffering, or unjustly targeted, even when they are the ones causing problems. They deflect blame, evade responsibility for their actions, and evoke pity to manipulate others into feeling sorry for them, forgiving them, or doing their bidding. Why is this so potent? Empathy is a powerful human trait. We are naturally inclined to help those we perceive as weaker or in distress. A manipulator playing the victim weaponizes this empathy, making you feel guilty if you don't offer help, excuse their behavior, or put their needs before your own. By positioning themselves as perpetually wronged, they avoid accountability and can subtly coerce others into solving their problems or overlooking their manipulative actions. Confronting them becomes difficult because you risk appearing cruel or unsympathetic. Consider a colleague who constantly misses deadlines, but instead of taking responsibility, they lament about their terrible luck, unsupportive family, or a never-ending string of unforeseen personal crises. When you try to address their missed work, they sigh dramatically, "I'm just so overwhelmed and everyone is always so hard on me. I really don't know how I'm going to manage." You find yourself not only excusing their poor performance, but perhaps even doing their work for them out of a misguided sense of pity and a desire to help someone who is clearly struggling. Our fifth sign weaponizes your own sense of morality against you. It's guilt tripping. Guilt tripping. This tactic involves making you feel responsible for their negative emotions, situations, or unmet needs, even when you have no legitimate responsibility. They imply that if you truly cared, you would act in a way that benefits them, leveraging your conscience to control your decisions and actions. Why is this so insidious? Most people possess a natural desire to be good, caring, and helpful. Guilt tripping exploits this by framing your refusal to comply as a moral failing or a lack of love, loyalty. It creates a psychological burden, making you feel uncomfortable and selfish unless you give in to their demands. The manipulator avoids directly asking or demanding, instead using implied blame and emotional pressure to get what they want, making you feel as though you initiated the solution to their problem. Imagine a parent who calls you saying, "Oh, I'm fine, really. I just thought I'd mention how much trouble I'm having with chore task lately and how much I wish I had someone to help. But I know you're busy with your own life, so don't worry about me." While not a direct request, the underlying message is clear. If you don't offer to help, you are a neglectful child. You feel a pang of guilt even though you might have legitimate commitments, and often end up sacrificing your own plans to alleviate their implied suffering. Our sixth sign introduces a third party into the equation, often without your knowledge. It's triangulation. Triangulation. This tactic involves bringing a third person into a two-person dynamic to avoid direct communication, to create division, or to gain an advantage. The manipulator might badmouth you to someone else, gossip about others to you, or create competition between two individuals to maintain control. Why is this so effective? Triangulation prevents direct resolution and open communication, which are crucial for healthy relationships. By involving a third party, the manipulator can deflect accountability, amplify drama, and create a sense of isolation or mistrust between the targeted individuals. You end up focusing your energy on the third party or on defending yourself, rather than addressing the manipulator's behavior directly. It allows them to control narratives and create a climate of suspicion, solidifying their own perceived power. Imagine you have two friends, Alice and Beth. A manipulative friend, Sarah, tells Alice, "Beth was just talking about how unreliable you are and how she can't trust you with secrets." Then, Sarah tells Beth, "Alice was just gossiping about your relationship problems, saying you always make bad choices." Neither Alice nor Beth directly confronts each other or Sarah. Instead, they become wary of each other, while Sarah enjoys the drama and maintains her position as the trusted confidant to both, subtly controlling their perceptions and interactions. Our seventh sign is incredibly frustrating, as it ensures you can never truly win. It's shifting the goalposts. This tactic involves setting conditions or expectations that change the moment you meet them. Just when you think you've satisfied a demand or achieved a goal, the manipulator introduces new, often more stringent, requirements. You're left constantly striving for an elusive target, never truly earning their approval or fulfilling their expectations. Why is this so draining? It creates a pervasive sense of inadequacy and futility. No matter how much effort you put in, you are never good enough or successful enough in their eyes. This constant failure to meet an ever-changing standard wears down your self-esteem and keeps you perpetually seeking their validation. The manipulator maintains control by ensuring you are always chasing their approval, preventing you from ever feeling truly accomplished or satisfied. Imagine a boss who tells you, "If you hit these sales targets this quarter, you'll definitely get that promotion." You work tirelessly, exceeding the targets. When you bring it up, they say, "Well, the targets were just the first step. Now, we also need to see you mentor 3 new hires and take on this extra project, then we can talk about a promotion next year." The goal you worked so hard for has suddenly vanished, replaced by an even higher, more demanding one, leaving you feeling frustrated and undervalued, and still striving for something always just out of reach. Our eighth and final hidden sign can seem harmless, even endearing, but it's a cunning trap. It's faux incompetence. This tactic involves deliberately acting helpless, confused, or incompetent at certain tasks to avoid responsibility, shirk duties, or coerce others into doing things for them. They might feign ignorance or clumsiness, leading you to believe they are genuinely incapable, when in reality, they are perfectly capable but choose not to be. Why does this work so well? Most people have a natural inclination to help others who genuinely seem to be struggling. Faux incompetence exploits this helpfulness, making you feel obliged to step in and solve their problems. The manipulator avoids effort and responsibility, while you take on an increased workload, often out of frustration or a desire to get things done correctly. They train you to expect to do their work, effectively shifting their burdens onto your shoulders. Imagine a housemate who consistently forgets how to do basic chores, like taking out the trash or washing dishes. "Oh, I'm just so bad at remembering the trash schedule," they might sigh. Or, "I always mess up the dishwasher, you're just so much better at loading it." Over time, you find yourself automatically taking on these tasks, partly because it's easier than dealing with their feigned helplessness, and partly because you know they'll either do it wrong or not at all. They've successfully manipulated you into doing their share of the work. Identifying these hidden signs of manipulation can be unsettling, but remember, the goal isn't to become cynical, but to become discerning, to trust your instincts when something feels off, and to recognize when your boundaries are being subtly eroded. Armed with this knowledge, you can begin to recognize these tactics in your own life, protecting your mental space and emotional well-being. Don't let someone else dictate your reality. If this video resonated with you, if it sparked a realization or offered a new perspective, please like this video and subscribe to the Cognitive Filter for more deep dives into the mechanics of the mind. Share your experiences in the comments below. How have you encountered these manipulation tactics? And how did you respond? Your story can help empower others. Thank you for joining us on this journey to uncover the hidden truths.